I'm starting to record. Let's see if we can trigger this to announce it to everybody. I think it works, right? Did we start it already? I thought it said you have to manually start it. Let's see. I guess it's on. We're just going to go for it. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to the official Champz chat for the play to claim not play to claim, the free to play tournament stuff. We got a couple of big announcements. One rules update, and then Enoch's got a couple of extra prizes he wants to tell everyone about from the guilds.
All right, I'm actually here. Let me get my headphones on.
Posting an announcement in the general here. Yes, I do want to tell 500 people. All right, and then let me send it out in Telegram as well. All righty. So, what's the big news here, Enoch?
Oh, am I starting off with that? Wow. Okay.
Or we could just banter for a bit. I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
I'm loading up my laptop.
Alrighty.
So, second here. Let's see. So I'm gonna pull up the topics from the announcements and try to stick to that script.
Sure.
So the upcoming PvP tournament, the free-to-play challenge details, the referral system rewards, and then the Enochian scholarship program.
Oh, we
I'm
got
happy to do any of
greenlit
that.
for referrals? I didn't know we could leak that yet.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if we want to get specific, but I mean, you saw what the team has discussed today. I mean, we're pretty, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
We're
Me, I'm
definitely
always in
narrowing
trouble.
in on a final goal right there.
Right, right. But where do you want to start? Because you are the host. I'll start anywhere. You tell me where to do.
Sure, let's jump in with the first little free-to-play tournament coming up on Saturday. So you can compete with any account, any age. If you want to bring in, your main mushrooms, that is not allowed though. It has to be the free-to-play mushrooms. And I know some people have already started re-rolling the traits on their mushrooms that are free to play, which, while I don't really like it and it's not allowed for the 30-day challenge, we are allowing it for this first little Saturday tournament. So if you are looking to get every little advantage you can, drop a couple truffles, see if you can get that 9% priest or 150 lumberjack, something like that, and go for it. Pretty much the holiday gear is the only thing that's banned. We don't have cursed or doomed items available yet because it's only going to be level 7. You got to be 8 to 10 in order to use those. So none of that should pop up. Yeah, it's going to be 3 versus 3. So bring your 3 strongest free to play characters.
Cool. And hopefully this will be our last non-spectator tournament. I mean, a little bit of alpha drop. I mean, before Matt's went on vacation, he was like, just letting you know, we do have a dev that's working specifically just on the spectate mode. So, again, I'm not confirming time dates and timelines because I get in trouble. But we hired a new dev that's been on the job about a week just for PvP spectate. And as we've said multiple times, we want weekly cash tournaments. We want people to be able to make a decent little, little stipend from playing tournaments every week.
And I know some people have been saying they have trouble with Battlefy. At some point, we will be launching a bracket generator and hosting the entire thing in the Champz game. But first, we're going to get spectators, then we'll worry about the brackets. We got to do it in stages. Let's see, what else do we got? We got the massive 1 month challenge coming up, and there is 10 play to claim characters available there, and we are looking at 0.17 ETH in truffles to be distributed. And then Andrew, who runs the Twitter operations, said that he would additionally throw in an extra 25,000 champs to the top truffle earner at the end of the 1 month period. So that is going to be huge. And something interesting is I think there's going to be kind of like two people in the tournament. Some of them are going to try to win the truffles, but I could see a lot of people just kind of committing to winning the PvP at the end. You know, they'll spend all their truffles, they'll be buying the gear, and they'll just go for the tournament win. Because it is going to be level 10, so we probably will see one or two pieces of doomed gear popping out, possibly more if people are actually buying on the accounts instead of just scavenging.
And I will be dropping a little bit of alpha about Doom Gear and how it equates to the free to play earnings challenge. Don't let me forget that at the end of the call here.
Sure.
So that'll be a little bit of alpha at the end, a little strategy alpha.
All right, I
Cool.
got some questions coming through now from Pone and NLO. Are the tournaments going to be free to play and NFTs? So none of the two upcoming tournaments are you allowed to use any NFTs. The one this upcoming Saturday, you can use your characters from the main account, but only the 6 new free to play characters that you made last week. The old school NFTs are not allowed, and it's going to be capped at level 7. So people with jesters, you might have to drop down a few levels if you want your jester to be fighting. Um, the end of the month tournament, 30 days from tomorrow, or probably realistically like 35, something like that, because we're gonna push it to a weekend just to have it so more people can actually attend. That will only be for people who compete in the 30-day event. So if you're not going for the Truffle Challenge, you cannot bring your characters from your main account into that end of the month tournament. And then as far as future tournaments, there will be a mix of free to play and NFTs. So your NFTs aren't useless. You're still going to be able to fight with them, but we just wanted to show a little bit of love because we got probably around 30 to 40 new players recently with the free to play launch. And so we want them to really have a fair opportunity to win. I don't really think anybody would argue that a brand new free to play character could beat an NFT in the current state. Like double rebirth is huge, and even with the best gear, you can't really compete with that unless you're also rebirthed. But we will be bringing in some other NFT tournaments, and probably we're going to try to push the limits on what level those are. Get a 17 max or maybe even a 20 max tournament out sometime soon.
Yeah, and I was thinking we also should probably offer like 100,000 truffles to whoever can get the highest level and number of rebirths. I mean, I wonder in 30 days you can't even get 2 rebirths. I don't think, right?
I
I mean,
think
if
a
you just take
jester would
one,
be the only one,
right? And just I
maybe.
think it'd be interesting to add that wrinkle. So maybe we'll ask the devs if they can budget another 100,000 truffles for whoever can get the highest level and or rebirth kind of what do you think about that, Morg? I think that'd be a fun challenge, right?
Well, it would certainly make people throw a jester into the team. I mean, that's something
Right.
that's really interesting. Because I said we're doing the 4v4 tournament, so you want at least 4 of your mushrooms that are going to be dedicated to your final team. And that really only leaves you like 2 room to play around with. Maybe you want an alchemist to try to get some foraging truffles out there, or maybe you just go for the jester, level up as fast as possible. Um, and just go for those high level quests because really until you get to around level 12 foraging doesn't pay that well, so you're not going to get super huge forage rewards in the 30 days.
Exactly. So I'm going to make a note for us to ask the devs about that. I think they'll be okay with that. 100,000 truffles, that's like what, $35 or something? Yeah, we
Yeah,
can squeeze that
that's
out.
fine. And then Pone follow-up question. I assume we cannot purchase truffles with ETH in the free-to-play month. You can from your main account, not on the free-to-play challenge, because if you're paying money, it's not free anymore. You broke the rules. All right. I got Taserface here asking, how will you monitor the free-to-play truffle event when it comes to PvP to make sure there's no ghosting accounts or other helpful truffle advantages? So on the dev side, we can actually see every PvP match, like all of the details, what each character did for each round, how many rounds it lasted, how long it lasted, did they forfeit, all of that stuff is visible. So we can tell, and we also can very quickly see, this person has been dueling, 100 times a day versus somebody dueled one time and made 50,000 truffles. But I did have someone bring it up to me earlier, and something I thought would be interesting would be we could make it so if you are doing the free to play challenge, we could let you wager truffles, but we'll put a 1,000 truffle limit per wager match. That way, if you're good at PvP and you're only dueling the other free to play characters, you could actually end up making quite a bit of truffles for yourself. But once again, we see the results. It wouldn't make sense if one person went and lost 50 duels in a row to another person. Like they would stop doing that. That would look like cheating. And if we saw somebody, basically transferring 50,000 truffles to their friend, they would absolutely be getting blocked from the tournament for that.
And people need to understand why we're doing this. I mean, it seems a little rushed and it seems a little bit pressure cooked because Brave Ads is going to go live as soon as they approve us. Referral codes, I'm being told, again, I get in trouble for this, but by the end of the first week of July, I think we're going to have referral codes. I think by the end of the first week of July, we're going to have mycelium.
I thought
And what
referral
we're,
codes were going to be the second week. Mycelium is supposed to be week one, though.
you know me, I'm always pushing them. But fine, either way, the point is we want to roll out this huge marketing. We've got, I think the marketing wallet has like $40,000 in it. We've been saving up our money. We really, really want to come out and pay people really well to grassroots grow this thing. But we need to be able to show, hey, we just had a 30-day competition. We had people get, put their thinking caps on, come in, start a brand new account, whether they're experienced or not, and then see how much money they could make or how much truffles they could make, right? So if everyone really understands what we're trying to do here, yeah, you're trying to win a couple $100 here or there, but you're trying to help us have the content to go out and show the world that, hey, there is a game out there that you can put no money in, you can have a decent ROI, and you can make a little bit of money. And then this game, I mean, if you see what's going to happen in the next 90 days, 120 days, guys, I just can't even, I'm not allowed to speak to it, but remember, we've been building the tokenomics first, the community, the syncs, the game loops. We're building all that first, okay? And I can't stress this enough. Next will come the music, the sound, the looks, the UI, the UX, all that stuff. So you got to remember, we're so early on this thing, and we're building it completely different. There is no other game now. There are games starting to clone us, and they're even more simple than us. Like their graphics are 8-bit, and they're just basically making yield interactions because they understand that what we've stumbled on works. And that's why our token hasn't crashed when every other token has crashed. The whales know what's going on. NLO knows. I mean, NLO is full of smart people. They know what's up, right? BTB knows what's up. All of our other people that have been around for, I mean, our average holder, I think, is around like 160 something days, I think I was looking at. I mean, so people are really starting to understand, we got some special cooking here in the kitchen.
That's almost half a year that people have been like playing and holding for. Like think about that. Everybody is in shit coins for, a week and then you dump it. And that's kind of the meta right now. Nobody is
Yeah.
investing in long-term projects. And that's
I
what we
mean,
got here.
I saw this morning that 15 of the top 20 coins on Dex Tools was on StarkNet. So people are literally dumping memes on Saul to shoot over to Starknet now and do the same. Base had its little run. So again, it's not going to take long for us to catch the attention. I've got some major investors that are basically like, as soon as you guys show me you're ready for your Axes moment, that's what we're calling it, where your taxi driver can log on in the Philippines and in between, fares, make $3 or $4 a day for 15 minutes work. We're going to have an explosion of people coming into this thing. And actually in the whale chat and in some of my super user chats, we're worried about people coming in and extractors coming in and just raiding us for free money, because we do have such a good viable system right now, and we don't want to we don't want to blow that up. I mean, because I don't know any other protocol that's paying 20% revenue share. We have 40,000 in our marketing wallet. We have probably, like, I don't know, 20 or 30 in the dev wallet that we can see. I mean, they have more, but they're taking it out and using it. So it's just very rare to see a transparent company right now that's sustainable, and our chart pretty much speaks to that, right? So everybody out there that's hearing this, help us find ways to cheat and squash it, but also help us find ways to make us have a really good marketing campaign that's not BS. I don't want to go out there and like shield that we can free to play when it's kind of on a loophole, or you know, and that leads me into the first alpha. So Enochian scholars, the top 10 free to play earners in this competition are going to get a whitelist to become a recruit for NLO or BTB. I talked to Madness, shout out Madness, love the idea. You can, visit each gaming DAO and talk to them and see if you want to join either one. You don't have to. But the second part is the top 10 spots are going to get whitelisted into my scholarship program, where you're going to get 1 million champs directed to your account. You're going to get 10 NFTs randomly. I've got 450 NFTs. I'm just going to pick 10 random and send them. And then Matsta's building a way for me to do this off chain, completely centralized. Now, later on, we will have a scholarship program that will use account abstraction to where you'll log in with a username and password. I'll be able to just point the NFTs on chain to you, or even transfer them. And then the hardware wallet will keep you from robbing me blind. But right now, though, we're going to have the ability off chain to literally, like, you'll log into your account section under settings, and it'll say you have 1 million more champs, and you'll have the 10 NFTs in your account to use. And then we're going to have a competition amongst those 10 people, and however much earnings here's the alpha, those top 10 people, whatever you earn, we're going to have a specific competition. I'm going to match. So out of my own pocket, I'm going to match whatever you can earn. So I hope somebody can make $500 in a month. That's my goal, is for someone to make $250 and then me match it. And that's going to come down to getting creative with item selling, wagering, pooling resources, because the next alpha here is that I'm going to buy every epic, or I might even go lower, but every cursed item, doomed item, shield, excuse me. So every doomed shield during the 30-day competition, I think Andrew's also on board to help me. Me and him have set aside 1 million truffles between us to basically create a very strong floor. So during this F2P free-to-play competition, you're going to want to focus on cursed shields and getting them either purified or doomed, either one. But everyone in the Enochian scholarship program will have one character. I hope to give every single person at least a legendary doomed shield, but I'm going to try to get 10 ancients. That's my goal, because if you're in my scholarship program, I want you having a Doom shield of the highest level for PvP, because we all know that's the meta right now. The Doom shield is pretty much used everywhere. I think, right, Morig? Would you say there's any more key item for PvP than the Doom shield right now?
Doomed is pretty good. I could see at higher levels the purified kicking in with evasion plus a 6% heal, but level 10, absolutely Doomed is the strongest. Even at level 13, like, I would still lean pretty heavily towards a Doomed.
Right. So when you're building your free-to-play strategies for the competition starting tomorrow, start learning what the floor price is for cursed shields and cursed items. And if I have to expand it out, maybe more, what would be the second? Would it be bows, you think? Probably a bow, right? Doomed or purified bows?
Bows are good. Yeah, I think Doomed Bow is probably the biggest. I really like the Purified Axe personally. I mean, it's not that much
Okay.
different from the Axe of the Wind, but I don't know, the extra little bit of life steal there makes it feel real nice.
And where this is leading to, everyone, is once mycelium comes out, me and a few other whales are going to create such a nice floor for the mycelium. Well, I mean, I need it for the scholarship program because if I've got 450 NFTs and I'm gonna immediately use 100, I hope to have actually 300 of my NFTs, 30 scholarships, at least 25 in the field. I have enough champs for that. I have enough NFTs for that. My goal is to have at least 25, and then I want us hoovering up the mycelium because I want to be breeding like crazy. I want to be a breeding leader when it comes to the Gen 1s, right? I want to have a strong presence. So what I'm saying is this is a test run with the cursed items to help us get the marketing. And then this will move towards mycelium because the next marketing push will be like, this is what happened with free to play with cursed items. Now we're doing mycelium. If you can come in here and you guys can work together, and we're going to have different mechanics to get mycelium, but we want a very, very robust economy. We're talking to advertisers. I mean, that's on the top of the list for free to play to be able to watch advertisements because then you guys can free to play and drive revenue to the protocol. But we really, really, really want the mycelium to be a very robust economy because that's basically one of the four pillars that'll be our success here. If we don't have a strong mycelium market and a strong breeding market, we will not do well. So that's why we're stressing the event so much. We're really just meat grinding it through because we don't even necessarily want an outcome. We just want to see how it would fare because this is a test for the mycelium.
It's also going to be a great test to see, like, with referral codes rolling out, is the marketplace and the economy just able to handle that extra volume? Because we already have, I think, 35 people who have signed up for the monthly tournament. So if we could get up to 50, or I'd even love 100, which that would be great to like stress test our game. Just to see, like, and make sure that we can handle it, and there's not going to be too much inflation. But one other thing I want to mention, like right now, for those of you who don't really have that many champs, a million champs that Enoch is talking about, and we are at around half potential truffle earnings right now. Like, the devs have cut it because of low volume. That equates to roughly $1 a day. So if you come in the top 10 there and you get to be one of Enoch's scholars, he's promising you an extra $1 a day guaranteed. And I think it's forever, right? Like your scholar offer, or is it
Yeah, yeah.
six
I mean,
months?
we're gonna no, it's gonna be for no, it'll be revisited every 90 days based on, but I'm gonna be giving 80% of the revenue to the scholar paid every 30 days, and then 20% will all go back into our fund because I want to continue to buy mycelium, breed NFTs, and build on new scholars and make it a flywheel. So my scholar today hit me up, dude. He was pumped. I'm letting use. I trust the guy. I've known him. I'm letting him use 2 million of my champs, and he got a good roll today, and he made 32,000 truffles today. He got insanely lucky. He had tamed the unicorn and saved grandma in an event, but both very rare, right? But dude,
Yeah,
he
I think
got
that's
both of
what,
those.
$9 in a day.
Yeah, no, he was stoked. He was stoked. And I can't market that because that's kind of a one-off lucky. But at the same time, if you can, and he only has, I think, 16 NFTs, but he said he got it done in like 8 NFTs because he just got lucky, right? It's just a lucky day. I mean, knock on wood, it happens every day. But my point is that's 2 million truffles. So if you cut that in half, and he only played for, I think he said, because I make them write down how long they played. I think he only played 16 minutes. So 16 minutes, $5. That's like $20 an hour. I mean, I don't know. To me, that's good money. Maybe it's not good money,
It is good
but
money.
especially tax free in Ethereum. See, that's the thing. It's Ethereum. I know we've all lost a lot of money, in the last week, but oh, it's my son waking up.
And that's still with like half earnings, like I mentioned. Once volume picks up, we have unlimited upside on the truffle payouts. But I want to get back to the other questions rolling in here. I see can't talk. Fog Max asked, during the free to play tournament, the marketplace is likely going to be overwhelmed with offers of goods for truffles. Will it be possible to redeem such offers with my main account? If the price of my free to play offer is equal to the price of another free to play player, how can I control this as to not violate the rules of the tournament? I would say behave on your main account as if you did not have a account in the tournament. If you would be buying up the gear anyway, you could go ahead and buy it. But if you are specifically targeting your gear, like we can see who bought and who sold. So, if you put your stuff up for 3 hours or something so that you could tell what your listing is and you're only buying from your own free to play account, that would be looking like a rules violation to me.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just use common sense, and it's like just imagine you're in court being able to defend yourself. If the judge asks you, you should be able to defend yourself. Like, so if you say like unicorn essences were going for 75,000 spores, or I know we're talking truffles here, but my point is, if you can say, well, before the competition it was selling for X, I bought it for X during the comp, that's that's defendable, right? But yeah, I mean, I just hope people. I know we're gonna have some people try to break the system and cheat, but you guys got to understand everything is so centralized right now with the game that we can see virtually everything. So I mean, if we see even a hint of it, we're going to come to you and ask you first. We're going to give you a fair shake. And if you've got a good answer and a good logic, then maybe we can work with you. But we really want to have something we can market here. And I think everyone should understand that this community is very special in the fact that we're not all here to make a quick buck. We're not pumping dumping each other. We're here to make something sustainable. So just treat it like it's your own baby. This is your baby too.
And like fourth place and below, we're going to look at those accounts, but we're paying extra special attention to 1, 2, and 3 because those are the people winning the truffles. So we're going to be going like line by line through everything they did in those 30 days pretty much. And if you are not in the top 3, like you're a 4 to the end player, there's not really any benefit to you trying to boost your stats because you're paying a 10% tax and you're giving the truffles to yourself. So you're just throwing away 10% of your truffles. And if you are a top 3 player, we're going to find out about it and we're going to take away all of the truffles. So you lose 100% of what you were trying to funnel over to your second account. So just, think about the spirit of the game. We want to see what a completely new player would be buying. If you wouldn't be buying it from somebody else, don't buy it from yourself.
And I think there's going to be a couple items like Magic Vitamin D, Epic Vitamin D that are going to have a solid floor. Hey baby, sorry, my kid just woke up from a nap. Everybody.
All right. I got a couple more questions. Can the graphics be scaled up later? Yeah, for sure. But so there's two aspects to that. Right now, the graphics are pretty much like 5 still images per character. There's an idle, an attack, block, and we could absolutely put in middle ground animations like transitional motions and stuff. But that's not really like a primary goal right now. We want to get the gameplay mechanics in there and have all of the like meaningful stuff as opposed to the polish worked on. Um, I saw something else about will there be more comics coming? Yeah, probably. We do have a full-time animator on retainer who's drawing stuff for us constantly. So probably whenever we have a big patch, we'll try to do some sort of comic or a video or something to just share that with the community. All right, and then I got another question from Taserface. At least I think it's a question. This is for the free-to-play character we have now. Will the attributes be able to carry over, or at least a percentage of it, to the Gen 3s? Because it doesn't make any sense to spend truffles to boost the attributes if they're going to be destroyed when you breed them. All right. I really like this question because I had the same question and I bothered Rawcat about it. He said he does plan to have your free to play character if you choose to breed it to make a Gen 1 and you have re rolled the traits, it'll have some impact on the outcome of the traits for that Gen 1 you rolled. So having a strong free to play character should make your Gen 1 bred character stronger. I do not know the specifics on, if it's a probability thing or if it's like a flat bonus. So I don't know any of that. He hasn't leaked that to me, or else you would be getting the leaked alpha right now. You got anything else on that front, Enoch, or should I keep rolling
I
here?
don't. Just keep rolling because I don't want to. I'm trying to stay away from breeding, and we've got a bunch in the main Champz chat that I'm going to address too. But
Okay.
again, we're not trying to box ourselves in on the breeding, and we're definitely going to have a lot of community input when we get there. But right now, it's got to be get our DAU up because the advertisers we've got to get to 1,000 DAU to really be able to command 15 to 25 cents per video view. And we want everyone watching 5 to 8 videos a day of good advertisers. Again, we're not going to go out, like Fume is one of them I'm talking to, like some good advertisers, not like these
Banjo
what's the mushroom people.
bakes, the best.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Banjo Bakes. My wife's bakery is going to be one of the first to try it out. But we really want good advertisers. We want good videos. We want to drive sales for our advertisers. We don't just want to take their money. And we're going to do some kind of profit sharing too. So like when you guys buy a product from one of these videos, that's going to be a revenue share. Because remember, our goal is to get enough revenue coming in that we can remove all the tax. Because then if we remove the tax, we're going to get our volume trading. Right now, it's protecting us from wash traders. You guys know the market. You go look at these coins and you're like, how do they have this kind of volume when there's nothing there, there's no substance? Because they pay people. Like I know owners of other games, I know CEOs, they are spending lots of money for fake volume right now. And it's getting very difficult with the market becoming a little bit negative, right? Market makers are getting destroyed. Hedge funds are running out of money. I mean, look what's happening in the ZK space right now. I don't want to get into it, but I mean, you got hedge funds selling IOUs because coins are dropping so much because they've mistreated their communities. And we didn't want to go down that path. So the tax is kind of keeping out the wash traders, the vultures, the MEV bots. So some people will be like, well, our volume's so low, but it's honest volume. It's actually organic. And if you look at our chart, it's steady climbing. I mean, if you just look at our beautiful chart, even as down as we are the last week, I mean, we're still holding 4 million market cap, and that's a big, big line of support in the sand. So, but yeah, I don't really want to get too much into the minutia of breeding because right now our focus is not there. If we don't get the free to play to success, if we don't get spectatable PvP cash tournaments, if we don't get DAU with a robust mycelium economy, if we don't get people making $2 or $3 a day on scholarships and more, none of that breeding stuff's going to matter. I'm not trying to be mean, but we're not, you only, with these kind of projects, you only have so much time before the air sucks out of the balloon, right? And we've got, 6 to 8 months of solid runway and time and energy left, the way we are. And that's amazing, to be honest. But we don't want to sit here and be complacent because if the next 3 or 4 weeks don't go great, then it's going to really slow down the rest of it. So we're not trying to stress anybody out, but we're being very honest with everyone. Help us build free to play with this competition so we can market it, and then help us get our DAU up with referral codes. And that's why we're going to, again, Morig, I don't know how much we want to say on the master document that we have, but the potential, wouldn't you say the potential earning for referral codes is fairly I mean, it's sustainable and it's fairly, I would say it's a good amount of income per month, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't know if we
Yeah,
want to put a
so
number on it, but
we will definitely have like a, flat bonus of some type for if you bring anybody in, even if they don't buy any Champz tokens or any NFTs, you will get some sort of compensation there. And then I'm hoping we could get through some sort of, unlimited upside, some sort of volume share. Anytime they buy Champz tokens, you get some cut of what they're buying. Like that'll come out of the tax, but that we haven't gotten approval on. It's what I'm pushing for. And we'll see how that works out. But and then possibly we want to do some other, stretch goal things. Like if you can recruit, 10 people, you'll get a play to claim character or something like that. So we want to have there to be a lot of places to earn. And we are definitely planning to have like, after they roll out, we'll let it run for, a week or something, make sure everything's stable. And then we were going to open up to a big, I'm hoping we could do like a quarter of an ETH for the top person recruitment challenge. 1 month, see who can recruit the most people, and you get paid ETH for that at the end. But yeah, that's all speculation right now. So don't go asking the devs about it. They're not here. They didn't hear any of it.
they're not here on purpose. And this is I mean, remember our Discord's community owned and operated. So this is a fan of Champion Yones Discord. We me and Nat and Morig started this thing pretty much. So yeah, none of this is legally binding at all.
So yeah, I
But
want the
and
referral program to be extremely lucrative, and even if they're not, you got minnows you want to bring in or whales, they'll both give you some money. That's the goal. All right, enough of referral programs. I don't want to leak anymore. How and when
yeah,
do the
I think we're fine.
blessing pool get filled back up? Um, it might not. So if you've been around for probably about 6 or 7 months, when we switched to the truffle program, you used to only get paid from blessings. They let the blessings run out completely so that they could switch to the new truffle system where it was more consistent earnings for everybody. We're thinking about doing something similar for that, but it hasn't been finalized. Although the blessings were never intended to be like the primary source of income here. So if you check the docs, it always say they are limited time run events, and this is one of those times where they are running out for a little bit.
And I mean, the reason we're doing that is we're getting ready to shift a lot of money into different rewards, different competitions, profile progression. So remember, sustainability is our number one thing because I've had people come to me and be like, "Well, I'm only, if I buy 30,000 in token, I'm only making like my ROI is like 20% APY," which it's kind of crazy that when 20% annual percentage yield is bad because in the real world, like anything over 7 or 8% is amazing. And when I was in financial advising for 19 years, if something had a cap rate, a capitalization rate, or an APY over 15 or 12, that meant it was risky, and you probably shouldn't put too much money in it because it's not sustainable. But my point is, no other game out there is paying hardly. I mean, I know people are playing Pixels right now. I know people are playing Common Ground over at Gala. I played that game for years. Like, I had a guy kind of like beat me up, and he's like coming at me, and I'm like, "Well, what other game are you making money on?" And he's like, "Oh, well, Common Ground. I'm making like $13 a week." And I'm like, "Well, how many hours do you play?" And he's like, "Oh, well, it's only 3 days." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's 3 days. How many hours?" And he broke it down. He's spending like 40 hours a week to make like $13. And I'm not hating on anybody, but there's not a lot of games out there right now that make any sense at all on a per hour income basis. Like, you'd be better off, driving food for delivery if you're trying to make money. If you're trying to play the game, that's one thing. But if you're just trying to make money, so what I'm saying is we will happily cut rewards for sustainability. We're not here to help everyone quit their jobs. We're here to actually make a Web3 game that's sustainable, grow it large enough, then maybe you can quit your jobs. Because remember, a lot of this is all based on volume. Everyone's like, "Well, we're not making as much per truffles. The devs lowered it a little bit because we're sustainable." But if we get our volume to go up, if we can make enough residual income off of advertisements and battle passes and microtransactions, and we can get rid of the tax, then the volume's going to go up. Because right now the tax is kind of keeping the volume down. But at the same time, we can't ever probably get rid of the tax altogether. Maybe we take it down to 1 or 2%. But we've got to get the volume up. How do we get the volume up? We got to get the DAU up. How do we get the DAU up? The free to play. How do we get the free to play up? Mycelium. So you can see how all this is integrated step by step. But I want people to understand we are sustainable first. So to answer that question, Morig, I would just say leprechaun, right? Can I just say leprechaun? And we'll let it go with that.
Yeah, if that we'll go with that, and you can think about what that means and what that might mean, but we're not going to elaborate any further. All right, I got
Yes,
a
I think
couple
we
of rapid fire questions here regarding the 30-day tournament. Will there be a live placement list, updated standings on who is winning throughout the month? At this point, we are not planning on it. Matsta is working pretty hard to get all the new features out, and we would have to be bothering him to get that live standing. Maybe we could go to him like once a week and get a top 10 or something like that. But it will not be live updated. Any updates will have to come out manually. So don't plan on live placement updates. Um, then we got people talking about, is combat the best way, or should I be exploring? What do I do during the tournament? Um, some people say, go fight because it's giving items. But personally, I would do a mix of exploration and fighting, because you get a lot of great items from your daily chests. So if you got, explore 15 times and solve a couple riddles, you don't want to be fighting that day. You want to go exploring. You want to get your extra chest, because that chest will have way more items than whatever you got from fighting. So there is no, cookie cutter pattern. You have to take a look at what you've been presented and how you want to play around the hand you've been dealt. Is there a point for free to play to get rebirthed once or even twice, because they get destroyed when they are used for breeding? Well, I didn't actually ask Rawcat about the rebirth stat playing a role in the breeding, so I don't know there, but you do get the bonus truffles every day from your daily login for having free to play rebirthed. And then, like, a tack on to that, uh, you can breed with the Gen Alpha and they don't get destroyed. So you don't if you have NFTs, you don't need to breed your free to play characters. Like, you can level them up and they're just another mushroom in your army. And then just make sure you don't breed with them so that you don't destroy a character when you're getting a new mushroom out. You got anything to add there?
No, going back to the first part of the question, I mean, the cursed items. I mean, it's basically going to be a race to whoever can find the most cursed items and sell them. So whatever strategy, because in every game there's always like the Stone of Jordan kind of quality to an item. So the Stone of Jordan for this competition is going to be basically cursed items and purified, shields, and let's say maybe axe or I'm gonna at this point I'm gonna say any good purified or doomed items, the top 2 or 3 items, because me and Andrew have, and maybe a couple other people want to jump in, but we really want to have a heated competition, and we might even do something random. Whoever sells the most cursed items on the marketplace maybe gets 100,000 truffles. We're not going to announce all of the Easter eggs either. So anyone that gets creative with ways to make money, maybe it doesn't even make the most money gross, but it makes the most per capita, or maybe it's the most sustainable, or maybe it's something we didn't think of, or something that a free to play. So just don't
Maybe
get
it's
locked
whoever
in. If
made the
you
most alchemists. I don't know.
Exactly, guys. We're looking for creativity. We're looking for ways to market this thing. So if you help us market it, I've told people since day one here, when I was here over 300 days ago, you add value to the community, we're going to add value to you, and we'll pay you. I mean, when Nat came into this community, it changed, and I sent $100 in Ethereum in December of last year because I was like, "You're so awesome. I'll get you paid by the devs, but I'm going to pay you right now," because that's what we want in this community. And look at this call. We have 18 people, 19 people, and everyone's been on here the whole time, and we're just rambling almost at this point. But you guys are here really thinking hard because you know how close we are to making something that's never been done before. And that's a successful, sustainable Web3 game. So, no, I would just say focus on items that are going to be really, really, really good for PvP, and items that whales would want to buy, like, because I'm never going to have enough doomed shields as a whale, because I want every one of my scholars to have a doomed shield. So ergo, I'm going to need all of them, right? Tridents, that's another one. That's flex. Unicorn essences. I mean, they've lost a lot of luster lately, but don't sleep on unicorn essences. We've got some stuff planned for them too. But that's it. Yeah, in this competition, I would just say the best cursed and doomed items.
All right, I got one last question here in the stage chat. Our explorer is going to be upgraded. Right now, it's sort of boring to explore in Arboretia. I'd like to see some more complex quests, and I would like to know if foraging will evolve into something more interesting, like squad foraging for better drops and rewards. I have not heard anything about foraging, so I can't leak anything there. Exploring, we are going to have a new mode coming out. I don't know. I would say probably like 3 months from now. It's going to be a while. But dungeons, which is kind of like a hybrid explore fight. So, if you're doing the underwater explorer and the mermaid turns on you, you'll have an opportunity to fight her in this case. Except it's not going to be just like a one-off thing that repeats itself. It's going to be more dynamic, and it'll almost be like a full day's adventure can be dedicated strictly to the dungeon.
Yeah, and I want to add that here's the big alpha leak. Mats has basically created a way for us to create community explorers. He's made it to where we can honestly, we haven't went live with it. We don't know when. It may be more. I don't know how much time it's going to be, but he built it out. I don't think it's done. But what I'm trying to say is we'll be able to like spend 15 minutes and create a new explore. So we could even have like a weekly explore or a treasure hunt, or so we could get very creative as a community where you all can help us make exploring more fun, right? You could say, hey, let's do it. Let's do a treasure hunt. Let's do the first person to, get to the castle and talk to the king, or, so we do have a lot planned for explorers because we've heard over and over and over from a lot of gamers that the explorer is one of the big things they love in the beginning, and then it gets very dull, obviously, when you know all the logic paths. I know, Morig, you really like the kind of choose your own adventure. I loved those books growing up. I'm a lot older than most people I think on here, but those choose your own adventure books were a great time, and we want to keep that alive and honor the Legend of the Green Dragon.
Yeah, that was the first thing that got me. I came in and I got the unicorn ride day one, and I was like, oh, I tried to fight the wolf and I died. So I was like, I guess next time I have to run away. So then I tried to run away and I still died. And it was just, oh my God, there's some secret role behind the scenes where there is no one right path. It's always changing. It's always different.
Exactly. And then when you add in the element of being able to fight your way out, or also mini games. I mean, you guys got to imagine what we can do with explorers. We can make mini games with inside of them. We can make, profile progression. Like if you've been killed by the mermaid 100 times, that's a lot of lost AP. Well, maybe you get a special item or a badge, or maybe you get a battle pass for a month, right? So we can get very creative with that.
All right, I think that is all of the questions I've seen here in the champ stage. You said you had a couple from general you wanted to bring up.
It looks like if when free to play mushrooms reproduce, what traits will they acquire? Because they are all the same. Um, hmm.
We can't
What is
leak
it? What do
anything
you think
on
that?
breeding yet. Like I
Yeah,
think
I don't.
he's
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
there is no way to like determine your, like two lumberjacks won't always breed a lumberjack, for example, or something like that. I think that's what he's going for. There's still going to be some element of randomness to it, but you'll be able to increase the odds of certain things coming through with, NFTs and stat traits and stuff like that.
We're gonna go to farmer's market. All right, let's see. Is it possible to influence what external parameters free to play mushrooms as well as alpha mushrooms? Should we increase the percent of mushroom skills before breeding? Oh yeah, definitely. You're gonna want to have like the highest. I mean, the highest level, the highest skill sets, because all of that's going to set the floor for the reproduced or the created bred. Yeah, so there's definitely going to be incentive not to just spam breed low quality shrooms. When breeding alpha and mushrooms remain, but they receive kind of mark, for example. Yeah, there will be an indication of it's going to get more expensive to breed, obviously, too. So you're not going to be able to have like your stable of horses. There is going to be some kind of degeneration and cost. So it'll force you into getting new parents. You're not going to be able to take the same parents over and over and over and over, right? So there will be, a sync on that. Let's see. In addition to this question, I like to suggest adding at least one. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, these are great. I love all of this. I would put all of this. Guys, anytime you have feedback like this, open a Discord ticket and put it in there because it gets buried in the chat, right? So definitely put it in there. So is that anything else? Now, let me see. I don't think I have anything else to leak. Now NLO and BTB is going to have a competition. We're basically going to have like a Champignon versus Champignon. So the highest free to play earner of BTB versus the highest free to play earner of NLO. Whichever one comes out with, so the guilds. I want the guilds kind of working together and thinking together. If basically whichever guild mate comes out the highest, we're going to have a bonus prize. I'm not going to say how much, but it's going to be pretty healthy, and we're going to actually give it to the guild. So like if Madness or if NLO wins, I'm going to give the money to Madness, and Madness will give it to you all. If BTB wins, we're going to give it to DX Para, and he'll distribute it because we really want to thank and honor all of the guilds and the gaming DAOs. I want to take a minute to say thank you to you all. Madukri, especially all of you guys and gals that are in the chat every day making this place great. I just want to thank you. And we're going to have a lot of more coordinated value and response for you all to receive coordination benefits. So again, thank you. I really appreciate it.
I think that's all I really had to discuss today. If we're good from your end, we could call it there. It's been running about 50 minutes, so we're getting close. We usually shut it down at about an hour.
Yeah, that's perfect. Is there anything else anyone just check the chat one more time, and I'm going to look at the announcement and make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me check all my private messages because I have some here.
Doofy, are you considering to introduce loss of XP in items if you lose fights? That's interesting. We were actually just discussing today, like an extra sync to create more demand for items. So if you lose an item from losing a fight, that could be interesting. We'll definitely put that on the list as something to consider.
Yeah, it could break. You could lose the item. It could break. It could be stolen in an Explorer, for example.
That little beaver, he
PV
keeps trying to take it.
Exactly. PvP, we could have a mechanic there. Also, we're kicking around, socketing items where let's say you have to basically enrich items and over time you lose the socket and you have to resocket it. But yeah, we definitely understand the item inflation problem as we get more players. And, with free to play, part of the referral code, a little bit of alpha here, when you refer someone, you're both going to get benefits. Let's say it's some items. I don't want to get too far into it, but there's going to be a little more inflation there even because we're going to want to reward you. And maybe we even have a specific item. You can only get that item through referring, right? So there will be a little bit of that element. But again, I don't want to get too far into that because with one of the devs on complete radio silence, because Matt's hadn't taken a vacation since December, and he's been working himself really hard. So I hope he's really enjoying Italy right now. Rawcat's kind of on half vacation, so we don't want to speak too much out of turn.
Half
But guys,
vacation,
we
but
are
double duty because he's covering for both of them.
right, but we are cooking a lot of stuff up, but right now we have to stay laser focused. Brave ads should go live as soon as they approve our ad. We've already given them the money. We bought a bunch of BAT token because you get double your spend. If anyone out there has a lot of experience with any kind of it's basically click through ratios and click through views and it's the same thing as Google AdWords in the sense if anyone wants to offer us any enlightenment or help us, we're going to start spending 2,000 a month for the next 3 months and then we're going to go from there. But we're looking at advertising on Telegram. If anyone else has ways to help us market, let us know. I mean, we are trying to be creative, and right now just handing $10,000 to a key opinion leader and having them shill, in my opinion, just doesn't work because a lot of retail doesn't have a lot of money. Everyone's kind of burnt out, and the shilling has kind of gotten so bad that you honestly almost can't even trust hardly anybody these days because more than likely they're being paid, right? Even if they don't disclose it. So, and crypto, and I was in finance for 19 years. I think it's mind blowing that you can shill something without disclosure, because that's just like a basic law when it comes to most stuff, right? But anyway, enough of that. So yeah, any other questions? We'll wrap it up here.
We got to give away. We promised one play to
Play to
claim, right?
claim. Yeah.
All right. Did you
And
have a favorite question that you wanted to give it to?
I did not. I'm going to defer to you because you're the host.
All right.
I'm
I really liked the taser face free to play attributes applying to breeding question because that was my question and I got Rawcat to give me the answer beforehand because I actually had that same question. So Taserface, you win today. Send me a DM with your wallet and I will get you that NFT.
And thank you all, everyone, for staying on the call the whole time. Usually you see these things die off in like 20 minutes. So I appreciate the respect and we hope to keep delivering. So just hit us up and keep the good stuff coming. Let's go.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye now.